As part of our planning process, we spend a lot of time working on operating principles or values. And somebody asked me the other day to share some of my values with them, and I thought it might be useful to do a quick insights video on it. And I want to just pick a few. And what I really want to share here is the value of having articulated some operating principles or values, a code of conduct, if you wish, that helps you make decisions. Quite often we find ourselves in situations where things happen and we respond in ways that on reflection we are less than happy with. And the reason that I believe, the reason that we often do this is because we don't have a criteria against which we can measure the situation, judge the situation, and make a decision on what we want to do. And these criteria are called values. We often have them, but we haven't articulated them. And we always have them, actually, I think we could safely say, whether we know it or not, because we're making decisions based on some value system all the time. So I want to talk about a few of mine that I found helpful and in guiding me in making decisions. The first one is adding value. We talk here in our business about being givers, not takers, and this is something I try to practice in my own life. The whole concept is being generous, being a giver, and not looking for anything in particular in return. I believe that, like Donovan's song, money goes round and happiness goes round. That if what you throw out there in the water comes back to you, and it's really important, I think, to be a giver. And I just found in general in life that as a principle, I give, and as a choice. It's not necessarily I'm a nice guy. It's just that I give as a conscious choice, and it comes back, and people reciprocate, people appreciate it, and even if they don't, I'm happy to give. It gives me pleasure. The second one I want to talk about is the concept of responsibility. This is a really tough one for most of us, and it's really important. I made a decision after some difficult times a number of years ago that when I was blaming a lot of people for a lot of things, that ultimately the only way for me to move forward was to take full ownership of the situation and recognise that I was responsible and as a consequence able to respond. So of course we've talked about this before. When you're pointing the finger out there at somebody else or something else, you are powerless to do anything about it. So responsibility for me is a really big one, to take ownership, take responsibility for whatever's happening, irrespective of who's right or who's wrong. And one of the interesting things about riding a motorbike, which I do as a hobby, is that if you have an accident on a motorbike, it doesn't really matter who's right or wrong, you're in trouble. So you learn very quickly to take ownership of your motorcycle riding, and to recognise there are no rules for you, because irrespective again of who's right or wrong, you're the one who suffers. So you have to assume that people will do whatever and take full responsibility for the situation if you want to be safe. So this is a value I practice, and I found it really helpful in life. It allows me to avoid drama, to step out of situations, not become engaged in needless strife, by just taking responsibility and saying, no, this is what I want to do, and stepping back from it. And another one I want to just talk about very quickly, sort of aligned with responsibility, and I got it actually from that book, Let's Get Real and Let's Not Play, or Let's Get Real or Let's Not Play, a great book in sales, and that I really like. And he talked about no guessing, and I've actually adopted that as a value. No guessing, to deal only in reality, to always be looking and asking, what's the truth of the situation? To park your own agenda, to park your own needs and wants, your bias, your prejudice, everything, and just say, what is really happening here? And I have found that dealing in reality, living in reality with no guessing, is really powerful. So for example, if I'm with a friend or a client or whomever, and I see something happening, instead of ignoring it or doing whatever, hoping it'll turn out the way I want it to turn out, I just confront it, I just address the issue. And if there's an orange light there, we address the orange light before it becomes a red light, and deal with it and move on. So there are just two or three, and I'm going to do another clip on these tomorrow, on maybe some more of my values and how I found them useful. So maybe just think about the concept of having a value system, having operating principles, if you wish, that allow you to make judgments, make decisions in the moment based on logic, based on reason, based on something that you want to be, something you want to do, as opposed to allowing emotions and so on to carry you away and have you respond in ways that you think ultimately are inappropriate to who and what you want to be. So that's my thought for today.